I'd like to call the meeting to order. The meeting is being held in the council chambers and is open for public attendance and participation. Can I have a roll call, please? Will any more?
Chairperson Silman.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Brookman.
Here.
Commissioner Knorr.
Here.
Commissioner Sandu.
Here.
Commissioner Dale. And County Liaison Campbell.
Present.
Okay, so we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Are we okay?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty. Okay. Public communications. I guess I still need to read it. Okay. You are welcome and encouraged to participate in this meeting. Public comment on items not listed on the agenda will be heard at this time. Comments on controversial items may be limited, and large groups are encouraged to select representatives to express their opinions of the group. Members of the public submitting written requests at least 24 hours prior to the meeting will normally be allotted 5 minutes to speak. Do we have any written requests?
We do not have any written requests.
Thank you. Do we have any comments from the public? Okay, seeing none. Are there any agenda modifications to the Planning Commission? No? Okay, seeing none. Consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered to be a routine and can be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items prior to the time the commission votes on the motion unless members of the Planning Commission request specific items to be discussed or removed from the consent calendar for individual action. Are there any members that have a consent agenda item that you'd like pulled for discussion? Okay, seeing none. Is there any public comment or consent calendar items 2 through 5 from the public? Okay, seeing none. Hearing none, I'll bring it back to the commissions for an action. To get a motion to approve 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the consent calendar.
Make a motion to approve all items.
Okay, can I get a second?
I second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So we are now I gotta turn the page. We have no business items, future agenda items. Mr. Libby, to provide an update on future agenda items.
Well, I've got a kind of a menagerie of things I wanted to go over with you. So I think everyone so far has heard about Ben Moody's going to be leaving the city. It's a big loss. I came over to the city as a result of working with Ben and the previous city manager, Diana. So it's a big loss to lose him. But we have good staff. We will, continue on, and I wish Ben best of luck. He's been a pleasure to work with over the last 3 years. Planning Commission recruitments. So as you know, we're going to district-based planning commissioners. The recruitment period's going on right now, and that lasts until June 4th at 5 p.m. So if you desire to continue on as a district-based planning commissioner, please submit your application by June 4th before 5 p.m. Let's see here. I want to give you an update on the town center appeal. This was the Waffle Barn site. So after an appeal your commission approved the project, an appeal was filed. And so up until this point, one of the neighbors has hired an attorney, and they are hopefully going to work through the issues and come to an agreement. And they're in that process. It's taken a little while, but they still are working through that process. And so I can give you updates, as we proceed. Let's see here. I wanted to give you an update on Merriment Village. So that's the, I think, 217 unit multifamily project that Habitat's wanting to do over on Walton Avenue. So that project has a funding gap, And so Habitat's been working to try to close that funding gap, and they continue to do so. They're working with some banks. I kind of get the impression that things are moving forward a little bit. It's taken a long time. The city council has expressed their continued support for the project, but it's up to Habitat to figure out how to close that funding gap. As you know, costs for everyone continue to go up. And when it comes to construction prices, tariffs, stuff like that, it really comes into play for them in that project. Wanted to mention at the last council meeting, the council initiated a change to create an overlay district for downtown Plymouth Street. The purpose of that overlay district would be to prohibit new smoke and vape shops from Calusa Avenue or State Highway 20 south to Bridge within the DBA area. And so staff is working to prepare that overlay, and that is something that would come to the Planning Commission hopefully in the not too distant future. The other part of the overlay, I should say, also prohibits retail stores that would sell alcohol for off-site consumption. So on the technical side of things, that would be a type, I think, 20 and 21 ABC license. So those two uses would be prohibited then if that overlay district was established. Mobile vendor ordinance. So I think, as you know, we have a lot of, the city has struggled with mobile vendors. We are working with the city attorney's office to rewrite the ordinance. One of the things we're kind of doing in the interim to address illegal pop-up restaurants that seem to be proliferating across the city is we're notifying property owners first that these activities are occurring on their site and asking their help to stop it. But we're making them aware that if it continues, that they can be subject to citation fines. And so we've code enforcement went out, identified locations, we sent letters to those pertinent property owners, and then this Friday evening, code enforcement is going back out again to close them down, and then any ones that they identify that have already been notified, they will then be issued, the property owner will be issued citation fines. So wanted to give you an update on that.
So Doug, are you talking about the ones that have like the fruit stands? I mean, is it all of those?
No, think of it, they may put up an easy up, a pop-up cover, and then they may pull igloos out of the back of a van, and they set a table up, and then they start cooking, and none of that meets food safety requirements. They would never get a permit from the county environmental health. They don't have a business license. If you find them, you don't know who you're fining.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the only one that's on.
Yes, we're very familiar with that one, and that property owner has been notified. So a couple fun things. So much of the planning commission time is spent on what we would call current planning. So that's the more routine use permits, development plans, subdivision maps, that type of stuff. Well, we're going to be able to work on long range planning. So things we have going on is we have a grant through state called a Reconnected Communities grant, and that's going to allow us to update our Central City specific plan. And so that plan is 33 years old. It was last updated in 1997, 28 years ago. It's due for an overhaul. If you looked online and downloaded the PDF, you're like, oh my goodness, which decade was this thing written in? So we're hoping to basically re-envision the Central City plan, focus it, make sure it's focused on the downtown. We're going to have a healthy outreach budget so we can do a lot of community outreach in the area to get engagement from the DBA and the neighbors around it. City Council has had a desire to create the downtown into an area where restaurants and entertainment can happen, and this is probably going to be the next step in making that a reality. The next thing would be so we adopted a 2040 general plan in January of this year. So the next step in implementing that general plan would be doing a zoning code overhaul. So we do have monies that have been previously set aside by the city for general plan implementation, and that's what your zoning code is actually implementing that general plan. And so we're going to be starting a comprehensive update this year. And you know, if a standard works for the city, we're not looking at changing it. It's really how can we streamline the processes? How can we incorporate the changes that the state is pushing on us to make housing easier to develop? One of the things we're looking at is incorporating objective design standards for both residential and commercial, because that can be used as a streamlining for permitting of projects. And so we're looking at incorporating that. So there's a lot there. Thank you for being here tonight. I know it's a quick meeting, but thank you for making the time to be here. Our project applicants appreciate it.
That's a good report. Anything for?
Regarding Merriment, that funding gap, is that based on the project in totality, or just phase one has a gap? Like, if they had the funding for phase one, could they just do phase one, or you have to show funding for the whole thing?
So right now, the scaled down project phase, I'll call it phase one, yes, has a funding gap, and they're trying to make that work. Unfortunately, because the grant money that they received from HCD was for development of a certain amount of housing units, and so they don't have the flexibility to say, okay, well, let's just shave off a certain number of units and continue to build. Then you would get a reduced grant amount as a result. So they're having to figure out ways to get that gap closed and get creative with it. Thank you.
That's interesting. Okay, planning commissioners, do you have any updates that you'd like to bring up?
None.
And you have anything, oh, I was gonna say Sutter County, you have anything from,
Nope.
nothing?
Well, it's quiet on the
Very quiet
our
on.
front.
Well, with that being said, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting at 6:10. I almost did it. 6:10. That was close. I hope I see you guys again. If not,